How often do you think about money? When you think about it, what do you think about? Where you want to be financially in the future? How much you earn? Your bills? Debt? Vacation? Do you think about how much you want to save or invest maybe? Most of us think about money every day. It's not that we're greedy and obsessing about it. It's just that our finances touch every area of our lives. Each of us is making vitally important decisions every day that make us either stronger financially or more vulnerable. The fact is, we're all building our own financial houses whether we realize it or not. How you build your house, the choices you make, will determine where you end up financially. The goal of making wise choices is to reach a point where your money one day works for you so you no longer have to work for your money. That's called financial independence. Ultimately, this is what we all want. It's not just a crazy fantasy that other people get to live. It's possible for you. Your dollar is just as valuable as the next person's. You can choose if that dollar disappears or if it goes to work for you. And if you make good choices for your financial house, someday you won't be looking to see how many vacation days your employer is willing to give you. You'll be deciding for yourself. If you don't have a plan and are not intentional about creating one, building your financial house is going to be like trying to build a real house without a blueprint. Not good, probably even dangerous, and I can promise you it will not lead to financial independence. And think about it. Most people spend more time planning a birthday party or a wedding than they do their entire financial future. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Your first step to building a better and brighter future is the same as with a real house. It starts with dreaming, finding a clear vision for what you really want it to look like. When you imagine the future of your financial house, what do you see? Do you want to be debt-free? Help your kids come out of college or university without a load of debt? Be able to travel or have a vacation property? Or have enough money so you don't have to even think about it? Dreaming about where you want to be financially will motivate you to create a plan for how to get there. As part of this first step, it's important to discover your financial independence number. It's the most important number in our financial lives, and yet most of us have never heard of it. It's the amount of money you need to have working for you, so eventually you never have to work for money again. Knowing your financial independence number gives you a clear goal or target. If you don't know what number you're aiming for, you'll never hit it. And when you learn your financial independence number, don't be intimidated by it. It's not as out of reach as you might think. Once you know what you're aiming for, construction can begin. Step 1 of construction is the most important part of a house, a rock-solid foundation. A strong foundation will make sure your house doesn't crumble when hit by strong winds and storms. For your financial house, we're talking about protecting your most important asset, your income. It's your income that builds your entire financial future, and you protect it with life insurance. Auto insurance replaces cars. Homeowner insurance replaces houses. Life insurance cannot replace a life, but it can replace an income. Think about how important your income is to your family. If you died today, what happens to that income? It stops. But what about the bills? They keep coming. When someone dies, almost always there are those two deaths, the death of the person and the death of their income. Just imagine what happens to a family when the income stops and the bills don't. It's called a total financial disaster. If there's not enough life insurance, not only has their family lost a loved one, they also face losing everything that their income provided. That creates a financial nightmare. An important question to ask yourself is, if you die prematurely, would you want your family to live better, the same, or worse than they do now? Most everyone says better or at least the same, but if you're not informed, it's easy to make mistakes, which is why many of us have cracks in our foundation that we're not even aware of, which puts our families at great risk. Life insurance mistake number 1 is not having any or not enough. Mistake number 2 is having the wrong kind. Many of these policies are very expensive, leaving families underinsured, and they often have savings programs that earn low returns. Life insurance mistake number 3 is the most common. depending on group life insurance from your job. Many of these plans only cover you if you are actively at work, and they can be amended or terminated without your consent. Unfortunately, most people learn about this when it's too late. This foundation is the most important part of your house. Once you get it right, you can then go to step 2, the frame. In your financial house, your frame is your cash flow plan. Most people call it a budget. A cash flow plan empowers us to start telling our money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It protects us from wasting money and making impulse purchases like gourmet coffee and stuff like that. It's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep. Without a plan, we spend more, borrow more, save less, often leaving us with more month at the end of our money. Get it? It can be very stressful. Most people say they easily waste $5 to $10 a day. For a married couple, that could be $300 to $600 a month. Imagine using that wasted money to instead eliminate debt and invest in your future. This can be the difference between reaching your financial independence number or having to work for the rest of your life. You can now see how vital this step is. Take control of your spending and stick to it. Now you're ready for step 3, the roof. In a financial house, your roof is made up of some key legal documents: your will, power of attorney, and advanced medical directive, to name a few. These documents are critical in order to protect your assets and, most importantly, your family. You want to get a will right away because if you don't have a will, your government has one for you. You just have no say in it. For example, if both parents pass away and there's no will in place, the government will decide who raises your kids, which is the last thing we would ever want to happen. Another reason to get a will is to avoid a family feud. If you don't have a will when you die, you take the risk of family conflict, creating arguments of who gets what when you're gone. That kind of turmoil can be devastating to families. It happens often, and it's a problem that is easily avoidable. Once you've done this, you can feel good about your progress. You now have the foundation, the frame, and the roof to protect and improve your family's financial well-being. Now you can get to work on the inside of your financial house. Let's start on the first floor, which is your emergency fund. There's no escaping financial emergencies. Surprises are going to happen. A broken down car, a home repair, a trip to the emergency room, or being laid off from work. And most people admit that when their next emergency hits, they will need to go into credit card debt or even worse, use their retirement savings for their emergency, which can be like a wrecking ball to their financial future. Just like an umbrella protects you from getting wet, an emergency fund protects you from that wrecking ball. It protects you from going backwards. Your goal is to have enough money saved to cover a minimum of 3 months and ideally 6 months of your living expenses. If that seems hard to do, you can begin by saving up at least $2,000. Once you pay off some debt or you are earning more, you can go back and finish setting aside the 3 to 6 months of expenses. Now let's tackle the second floor of your financial house. Here your mission is to eliminate debt. There are different kinds of debt: car loans, student loans, credit cards, and mortgages. At this point in your financial journey, the most critical debt to deal with is from credit cards. Credit card debt is the financial cancer of today. It robs us of our ability to invest, create wealth, and ultimately prevents us from reaching our financial independence number. Did you know if you make a one-time $3,000 credit card purchase with an 18% interest rate with no new purchases and only made the minimum payments, it would take at least 10 years to pay off, and you would end up paying more than $2,000 in interest charges? That costs you 66% more than the item you purchased. That's why this step is so important. The quicker you get out from under credit card debt, the quicker you'll be able to pay off other debt and begin investing much more towards your future. Debt stacking is a simple, effective strategy that pays off debt fast. It's when you pay off one debt and then use those dollars to pay off the next debt and to continue that pattern until you are totally debt-free. And then instead of wasting your extra money, you invest it. You can transform your debt payments into wealth. Debt is the enemy. Defeating it feels great. and it's another vital step in your journey toward financial independence. The third floor is the last floor of your financial house, and it's all about investing. Unfortunately, this is where most people fail terribly. Why? No one taught us about it. In school, we had math, English, science, and history, but how many of us had a class called money? Have you ever been taught about the rule of 72, compound interest, the time value of money, dollar cost averaging, mutual funds? Those are some of the tools that people use to grow their money. When you invest your money properly, it can grow exponentially. Investing the right amount of money over time in the right places enables you to reach your financial independence number. The rule of 72 may be the most important rule in money. It's a very easy mathematical formula that tells you approximately how long it takes for an investment to double in value based on its rate of return. Here's the formula. You take a given interest rate and divide it into 72. So, if your investment is going to grow with a 2% interest rate, you can divide 72 by 2, which equals 36, and that tells you your money will approximately double every 36 years. If you see a 6% rate of return, your money will approximately double every 12 years. And if your rate of return is 9%, then it's every 8 years. That is exponential growth that can happen over time, which leads us to what is the most life-changing financial concept. It's something we can all understand and take advantage of: the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. Here's a real-life example. Let's say you freed up some money using your cash flow plan and debt stacking. So now you can invest $500 each month. If you invest this way for 35 years at a 2% interest rate, your money would grow to $304,280. At a 6% interest rate, it would have grown to almost $716,000. But if you would have averaged a 9% interest rate, your money would have grown to nearly $1.5 million. That's the power of compound interest. Your money can earn you more money just by being in the right place. The key to harnessing the power of compound interest is getting time on your side. It's called the time value of money. The more time money has to grow, the better. When someone starts investing in their early 20s, they could see a far greater result than if they waited till they were in their 30s or 40s. Ben Franklin once said, "You may delay, but time will not." No matter what age you are, if you haven't started, start now. One day when you have enough money working for you that you no longer have to work for money, you will be glad you started today. When people build a new house, they experience a very special feeling that first night they get to sleep there. It's a great sense of accomplishment. When it comes to your financial house, you won't need to wait till it's completed to feel that way. As soon as you get on the right path, you'll be able to feel the satisfaction of knowing you have a bright future ahead. You'll be able to trade stress and anxiety for peace and security. You'll be providing a rock-solid and beautiful financial house for the people who are most important to you. By getting your financial house in order, you can help your children build theirs. Your smart choices today can positively impact your family's financial trajectory for generations to come. And that impact can go beyond your own family. Something we haven't talked about yet, but is very important, is generosity. Being able to give generously to those in need, your place of worship, your community, or a nonprofit that's important to you is a powerful and rewarding way to make a difference. When your financial house is strong, the impact, your impact, can be that much greater. Here's a great question to consider. What action can you take now to ensure the things you learned in this video get applied in your own life? It's easy to put off, and there's probably never a convenient time, but you're losing money every minute you wait. The clock is literally ticking. And remember, it's not what you know that gets you where you want to go. It's what you do with what you know. You can have exercise equipment in your house and know what it does, but it's not going to change your life unless you use it. Money is the same way. Knowing about it is not enough. You must do something. Right now, you're going to have the opportunity to take action. To help make your choice easier, here are 3 possible paths you can choose from. Path 1, Financial Blueprint. If you know where you want to go financially, but you're unsure how to get there, or if you're just getting started, you can take advantage of a complimentary, cutting-edge digital tool that will create a blueprint for your money. It gives you simple-to-follow instructions that enable you to do all the things you learned about in this video, and it provides you a personal guide to help you make sure you do things right. By choosing Financial Blueprint, you will soon have a clear financial vision for you and your family, which means you can spend less time worrying about money and more time enjoying your life. Path 2. Financial home improvement. Maybe for now, you want to do just one or two things to improve your current financial house. If that's you, in a moment you can choose financial home improvement and then check the things you want to work on. Path 3. Financial house review. Perhaps you have a pretty strong financial house already, but you wouldn't mind getting a second opinion to make sure you are doing the best you possibly can. Or to see if there's something available now that wasn't available before that might make your financial house even better. It never hurts to explore other options. In that case, Financial House Review is for you. You can choose whichever path is best for you, and you can make that choice right now. Click I'm ready to take your first step.